LinkedIn, by the way, everyone.
By the way, we're live on LinkedIn, guys. So.
And I'm passing it over to John as our sponsor of this lovely event to give us a little bit of information about Headroom.
All right, let's give him a round of applause. Good job, John.
Welcome, everyone. Thanks for coming. Headroom. Some of you know Headroom and know why it's here and what it does. But for those of you who don't, I call it a business accelerator. Companies come into Headroom and typically grow quite quickly, and ultimately they leave us because they get too big. But that's good. That's a success for us, and we've had literally hundreds of jobs created here by the companies that pass through Headroom in the last 4 or 5 years. So essentially, what it is a low-cost virtual office offering. You get essentially a door, a window, and a room, 4 chairs in it. Yes. And you essentially book your space when you need it for whatever purpose you need it for. You can have a small office or you can have a conference room, and you use that while you are growing your business and figuring out what your future needs are. And comes a point typically when people say, right, we've got our own office and we move on. There are companies that are 30 and 40 employees that are still using our space because they've decided to stay virtual and they just come in occasionally as a team and do that. So one of the benefits of being here is that you're obviously getting office space and everything that goes with that. Business such as 24/7 access, telephone, and so on. But you also get the chance to meet other people that are in the same boat as you, doing the same thing as you. We get a lot of collaboration between companies that are here that do business with each other, and they get to know each other. That's a very easy way to get to know a lot of people quickly. And that's the collaboration piece. And then finally, often these companies and individuals, they need help with their roadmap, where they're going, how we get there. And we help them with that. So we do some strategic planning and light strategic planning really, and help them kind of create a roadmap, create a target to go after, and help them stay on target as they pursue that journey. And I think that's part of the reason why a lot of companies do that. We have a small incubator unit as well with 7 companies that are at a very early stage. And I have to say that out of the, I think, 9 that joined, 7 or so joined after 2 years. And one of them left and came back again. I know they did the business and they are doing very well. So, yeah, there's something about the chemistry of this place that, seems to help companies be successful. And there's about 80 companies using the space as a business against now. And, we're looking to try to get to that 100 that's. So that's it, really. Headroom. Any questions from the senior leader? Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, John. So my name is Sara Rosenberg. I am the founder of a company called Powermatch. And one of the reasons why I founded Powermatch, which is sort of like eHarmony, but for business relationships. One of the reasons why I started Powermatch was because I absolutely hate doing this kind of thing. And the only reason why I'm here is because Chris asked me to be the moderator. But LinkedIn is my way of building relationships and being at a 24/7 networking event, essentially. So it's enabled me to have unhealthy behavior and to stay in my house and build my business. So when Chris asked me to moderate, I was all about it. So what we're going to do, and I warned these guys before, is I am going to read their LinkedIn taglines, and they're going to say that's me, and then tell us a little bit about their business. The reason why I'm doing that is because your LinkedIn tagline is prime LinkedIn real estate. That's the bottom line. Because every time you comment on something or post something, that branding that you put in your tagline goes all over LinkedIn. So if your LinkedIn tagline right now is the default which is your title and the name of your business. And Vince is over here smiling. Nobody cares about that. They care about the value that you bring to the table for them. Okay? So somebody up here, when I warned them, said, "Oh my God, Sarah, could you look at my tagline and see if it's okay?" I won't. First up, helping.
I don't know.
He actually turned it into a really good tagline. Helping to build the credit profile you want to succeed.
That would be good. I actually changed that today at about 3 p.m. because I asked Sarah last week to take a look at it. And so, yes, my name is Shelton Marchman. I have a company called Custom Credit Solutions. I work with small businesses on building their company through their EIN, building their D&B portfolio, their Experian profile, so that they can borrow against the company instead of borrowing with personal credit. So it still doesn't explain everything, but it's better than what it was.
All right, next up. What is school for at Classroom Without Walls?
That's hi everyone. That's me. Actually, because I was just updating my industry history, and then my original tagline was a lot better. I don't know. I accidentally updated that. Yeah. So I used to be a college professor. I just resigned from my job, and now I'm building my own school. And LinkedIn has helped me so much. And I'm organizing an entrepreneurship immersion program in Singapore. And 80% of my connections actually came from LinkedIn, including Microsoft, Adobe, HubSpot. And without LinkedIn, without the connections I made on LinkedIn and the live streaming and the video content in particular, I wouldn't be where I am today. So I'm really excited to be here and to learn from everyone and to share with everyone what I know.
Cool. All right, next up, looking to have real conversations about money.
That's me. That's me. Chris Mouzon. My wife and I are in business. By the way, that's my wife right there, Zara. Give her a round of applause for doing the name tags. So difficult. Either way, you're awesome. So we run a financial services company. We basically teach people about money. And so the reason why I put that as a tagline justification, right, is because I want people to be able to have open conversations about money. If we really think about it, we don't talk about money in our society. You don't just walk up to someone and just say like, "Oh, what's in your bank account?" Like, you'd be so uncomfortable. So I want to have real conversations because I believe that's the beginning to how we actually create change. We all have money issues. We all have things we're dealing with, but we don't talk about it. And the real problem is just us not having the conversation. So that's what I want to do. I want to be able to have that conversation with people.
Cool. All right, next up. Founder, CEO at Fulfill Companies, keynote speaker, inspirational speaker.
That would be me, of course. Hello, everyone. So, as you said, I'm the founder and CEO of the Fulfill Company, and what we do is we're an empowerment company. So, we basically help people specifically
Having the conversations.
fulfill their goals or fulfill their mission and challenges that are keeping them from moving forward. So, been working with young people for a long time, and a lot of them are just incredible and they're amazing, but they just don't know it. And unfortunately, because of that, they don't get a chance to achieve, what they're really called or purposed to do. So, so I do a lot of speaking engagements. I work with young people. I work with people in general, but specifically with young people to try to help them basically achieve and realize what makes them great in life. So, LinkedIn's been an awesome asset for me. It wasn't in the beginning, but I've kind of learned some things, and I'm interested in learning from everybody, and especially these guys, to sort of enhance some of the success I've had on LinkedIn.
Okay, so I teach LinkedIn classes occasionally, and one of the things that always comes up for the people that I'm teaching, especially, is the question of they feel very intimidated by LinkedIn. This is supposed to be super professional, right? So what do I say? How do I do it? How do you guys get over being intimidated by LinkedIn and just start to engage with people? Chris.
So I was never really intimidated by social media in general, by any social platform, because I know it's a way to connect with people. I grew up, so in our financial services business in the industry, we were taught to shake hands and make phone calls, right? Shake hands, make phone calls. And after a certain period of time, I realized it's not going to work after a while, right? Because people stop answering the phone. We just had this conversation, right? Like you look at your phone and you're like, why are they calling me?
Don't
right?
call us.
Don't call me, right? Like, why are you calling me?
Hashtag.
So that was hashtag don't call us. So that's why I realized like that wasn't gonna be good for business down the line. So all I really did was start paying attention to these platforms. If you go on these platforms and spend more time listening and don't think you have to put out content, don't think you have to go in there and start talking and putting out a bunch of stuff, just go like play around on it. Like go look, like spend 20 minutes in your feed and like see, oh, what are they posting? What are they talking about? It'll take away some of that anxiety of like, what do I post? What do I say? How does it, what time of day? All those things. Just go on there and listen, play around, get a feel before you start putting out content. So that helped me a bunch.
Phil, because we just had this conversation, so as someone who was feeling intimidated by LinkedIn, how do you get over that?
Yeah, so I'm naturally very reserved, and I prefer to sort of be in the back and not be seen. And obviously, that's not social media. And so, I've been in business for about a year. October 8th was, it had been a year. And I would say the first 6 months, it was just me sort of being in my head. I think just worrying about how I was going to look, worrying about how I was going to sound, worrying about what people were going to say. All these crazy things were going in my mind. And I, got to the realization, if I want my business to grow, people need to know what I'm doing. So I think just taking a step and being uncomfortable the first few times. And then the more I was doing it, all of a sudden I was more and more comfortable doing it. And probably the last 6 months consistently doing it, my business has grown in terms of just different opportunities and different connections. So I would encourage you to just face your fear and just do it. Deal with the discomfort. It's only temporary. And the more you do it, the easier it ends up getting. And like I said, it's not that I love getting on there, but I was talking to Jason and I kind of felt like it was saying, hey, everybody, look at me. And that's really not what it is, so it's really just promoting what you're doing. And a lot of times it's so beneficial. I've found so many people to find benefit from the content I'm putting out. I'm constantly putting videos and just different image content to inspire people, to motivate people, to encourage people. And so many people reach out to me. So once I was seeing the benefit that others were getting from it, it sort of it inspired me to want to do more because I was helping people. So I would just deal with the discomfort. The discomfort will eventually wear away, and it becomes easier.
So the other pushback that I get from people a lot is the content creation. I don't know what to create. I don't know what to say. How do I do it? So I want to ask especially because I know that you create a lot of content, you do videos. How do you know what to post? How do you come up with things to post?
I love this question. First of all, say hi to our live audience. You have about 20 people join us live right now on LinkedIn, different platforms. So for me, I think the first question is you really have to ask yourself, what is the industry that you are serving? What is your overarching business goal? Don't waste time on social media. Social media is here to move your business forward. You don't do social media for fun or just like that. You can do that, but if you are running a business, you have to have an overarching strategy. So for me, I work in alternative education. I'm building a school. So my content, every piece of content I talk about is related to the problems in education. But you are in a different industry. You have to think, okay, this is my overarching business goal. Maybe you are doing a big launch. So maybe you are trying to build brand awareness to help more people discover you, or maybe you are trying to become a thought leader in your specific industry. So understand that first, and then go back to think about what piece of content can I produce to actually meet that business goal, and what are some pain points that customers in my specific industry they are dealing with right now. I speak to parents, and their children are now enjoying school. They have no passion. They don't want to go to school. So I produce content to speak to the parents to deal with their pain points. So go back to think about your overarching business goals, and then go back to have a content strategy. So that's how I develop my content calendar.
All right. So in terms of creating content and connecting with people, it takes time, right? And again, pushback I get is I'm doing everything in my business. How do I have time to do all of this? How do I have time? So Shelton has a baby, he has a business, you're traveling a lot. How do you fit it all into your schedule?
I don't.
Let's just be honest here. Let's just be honest.
Yeah. So it's like a trickle down, actually, because everyone who's producing comes down to me who it should be. And the thing is, I have taken the small route where I try to find people who I would benefit to have a connection with, and that's pretty much all I can do at this point mentally. I have a ton of content that I'm just not pulling the trigger on, and like I said, I should be putting it out, but I'm like Phil said, I'm overthinking it. But the lucky part is that with LinkedIn, I'm still able to get good relationships just by sending a request and not sending someone, hey, listen, this is what I do. All of a sudden, as soon as they accept me, but I do build a relationship with them.
So let's talk about that. Let's talk about who to connect with on LinkedIn. So for you, what is your standard of connection?
For me, I'm trying to find somebody that will be able to service my customer as a proper vendor for them down the line, so that there's value in them actually adding me, and they don't see me as being just a leech. I'm actually producing something of value for them as well, because I don't have content on there. I don't want them thinking I'm just there to send them a message. Hi, listen, I want to call you. It's a 15-minute call. Blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't do that right away, because I need to figure out, does this person even want to work with? Do I have something that they can offer, that I can offer them, as well as I do see value that they offer? So for me, yeah, I'm terrible with LinkedIn. I'd much rather be on Facebook looking at memes. I see this funny cat one all the time. But yeah, so I mean that's the thing. I will get better though by doing these types of things.
Talk to Jason, because Jason, and I always tell the story, he went kicking and screaming onto LinkedIn, and now he's like.
She actually gave me a breakdown last week on what could be better on my profile, and I got to number 3, and I did tagline.
There we go.
There's like 6 more to go. Yeah.
Okay, so obviously lots of people, just from the example you gave, where people are, constantly pitching to you in a message, and it's really annoying. So I want to ask the panel, whoever wants to take it, what is the most annoying thing that you see people doing on LinkedIn?
Oh my God.
Right, like we're that one too. Yeah.
Go ahead.
And it actually is that. People pitching you right away as soon as you accept them. They want to say something to you instead of just saying hello. Like, I get it. You think this is a way for you to get business immediately, but there's proper ways to go on a date.
Exactly. First date.
Yeah, you can't just ask to kiss me as soon as you walk out the door. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. It's annoying, but I do also take the time to practice my pitch inside of it. If they pitch me, I automatically assume you're game. So I'm gonna pitch and see what works and what doesn't. Because they respond back to me, and whatever words I said there clearly grab some of their attention. So I play around with that.
Okay,
Other than
I feel
that,
like that's fair.
yeah, come on. Grab my
Chris, what's an annoying thing that you see going on?
So that is definitely annoying, right? I think we can all agree that like pitching someone right away, right? Here's how it goes. A connection request accepted, message right away that says, this is what I do in business. You should come look at my thing, right? That is a no-go, right? That's annoying to all of us. And I'm sure none of us do that. But the other thing that's annoying is the other side of that is when you actually message people that are relatively active and they don't get back to you.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, it's the equivalent of not answering a text message, right? If you're on the platform, I'll look, I'll know. If you only have 269 followers and you never, ever like comment on anybody's stuff, I don't really expect a message back from you. If you have 5,000 followers and I see that you're active, you're commenting, you're doing things, and I message you and you just don't, because my messages are, hey, Jason, noticed your profile, saw that we might have like, how are you, right? Like it's just a normal, genuine opening. You don't get back to me, super annoying. super annoying.
And
It's
also,
like-
you can tell on a message when somebody has read it.
Right.
And it's not.
You can, right? Because you see that they read it and they just chose not to get back to you for whatever, even if it's right, I'm not here to connect. Just say something to me, right? Say something. Don't just ignore me. That's super annoying. Heard that, LinkedIn? Super annoying.
So two things. So you guys mentioned when someone connects with you and then they pitch you. For me, more annoying is when they haven't even sent a connection and they're pitching. So that's annoying. And then also to that point, so just today at 1:30, so last week I connected with someone who was in higher education. Reached out to him, he responded, he said, I just wanted to just sort of connect to build a relationship so we could figure out if we can add value in the future. Last week he said he had the flu. I said, all right, that's fine. I said, would you like to meet next week? Over the phone, he was based out of Missouri. He said, great. Reached out to him today. He puts me straight to voicemail. So that's annoying to even, because I would much rather you just be upfront and say I don't see an opportunity here instead of stringing me along for an entire week, and it's just be upfront. So that's something that's a key for me for sure.
Okay. What LinkedIn feature has made the biggest difference in growing your business?
I can take that.
Like what we're doing right now,
LinkedIn
LinkedIn video, LinkedIn Live. I'm a video content creator, just like showing up consistently. I host a few live streaming shows. The first one I started about almost 3 years ago, and just showing up consistently and offering value to people in my community has helped me so much. Speaking engagement, clients, leads, and just build my thought leadership in the space. I'm very thankful.
For me, voice messages. Voice messages, right? This is something most of you probably haven't done, but it's been super effective in my business. If you go in and personally message someone, you normally do it via text, right? Via message. But there's an actual little button that's a microphone right next to it, and you can go and just give a voice message. Hey, Bruce, how are you? Good to connect. I'm Chris. Like, you get to hear me. And then I send that message. I've gotten way better results doing that than sending a message. Yeah, I know. Most people don't.
Yeah.
Most people don't. It's awesome. There's a guy that I follow on there that he did that to me, and I was already doing it, but he's the only person that has done it. I was like, this is amazing. We're brothers because we both do this. And we got all excited about it, but it's literally one of those things that no one knows about that could replace the cold call. It could replace the cold call one day. So if you get good at it now, I'm telling you, it'll help your business. It will.
Can I add a point to this? So besides the voice message, there is also a camera icon in the inbox section. So you can do voice or even do video. Both of them work really well.
Yep.
You're talking about on your phone or with
Yes, on your phone, sir. On your phone, into the message, into the direct, the right private messages that you go in. And sure, if you want to send memes, Shelton. But yes, this is for voice and video. Like I said, it really helps. Because again, what we all hate about being in the message is are we talking to you? Are we talking to a robot? Is this your virtual assistant? Are you just some spammy person? Who is this? So if you put out content, then they have a visual oh, this person is actually a real person. And then if they hear your voice in a message, they're more likely to answer that message. You get higher percentages. Right? That's what this is about.
Bill, what's the feature that you like the best?
So on LinkedIn, just being able to post videos. So because I work with young people, I think a lot of times people obviously, in any industry, you have to trust someone, but especially with young people, for people to be able to see my face and figure out if I'm someone they can trust. It's listen, see what I look like, hear what I sound like. Without question, people seeing me people have reached out to me just because of me staying consistent with my videos and seeing the content and type of information I discuss. So without question, videos.
Cool. All right, next question. If you could only do one thing every day on LinkedIn that would make a difference in your business, what would it be? One thing.
For me personally, honestly, it would be posting more. Because I feel like with the transition, as you know, going into doing more seminars, you do need to speak to people. You need to get content out there so people know that you are speaking to them on that topic. So I would prefer to get things out there without videos.
All right. Phil, one thing. You can only do one thing on LinkedIn every day.
Yeah, it's definitely posting, and I feel like I've improved. I definitely have improved over the last 6 months, but just continuing the consistency and even upping it. So I'm on there. I wouldn't say definitely not every day, but Monday through Friday, I would say 4 of the 5 days. Maybe on bad weeks, it might be 3 of the 5 days. I'll post something. So just continuing to just post on a daily basis and just being consistent with it for sure.
Just to not piggyback on that, like it's true, content is the way, right? Putting out content will do more for your business probably than anything. But I would say a close second is commenting on other people's stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, commenting on other people's stuff, because just like Sarah said, right, your tagline pops up, but just in general, I get a lot. On LinkedIn, like you can see who viewed your profile, especially if you have a premium account, you can see everyone that viewed your profile. But when you comment on, let's say, an article that is popular in your industry or trending in your industry, that thing is like thousands of people are seeing that, and they actively go through comments in LinkedIn. So it's happened plenty of times to me that I'll comment on something random, and then I'll get a bunch of people that saw my comment, liked my comment, then checked out my profile and then followed me, right? It's just from me commenting. So posting content, I think, is the number one, but I think a close second is being able to comment on other relevant things
And
that
I
are out there.
think, too, commenting gives you the ability to not always have to create content constantly.
Yeah.
So if you're posting, cool, but I would say for every post that you make, comment on like 10 other posts from other people. It's really important.
I agree. And I think like commenting, when you are commenting, don't just say, I agree, I disagree. Hey, this is amazing. Yeah, actually add at least 2 or 3 sentences so people can actually remember you. So yeah, I agree.
Add value.
Yeah.
That's important. And I
good comment is a great post.
right, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
more than just a like, because honestly, guys, like, let's talk about this. Like, if you run a business and you start posting stuff on LinkedIn, you remember every person that commented.
Yes. And what do you do when someone comments on your stuff? You go and look at
their posts. Like, it's the easiest way to do it. Like, that's how we work as people, right? Like, someone comments and you're only used to getting 2 comments. You remember all those people that commented. You remember exactly who they were. And you went in and you looked at their profile. Well, that could be you on someone else's side.
Right.
Just like, don't just comment on the top.
Which is why you need a really good LinkedIn profile.
Exactly.
And to that point, we are giving away
Woo!
an about section written professionally. I don't know how we're doing that yet.
Business card.
Put your
That's
business
right.
card.
Well, we all have. Did we take down everybody that showed up? They're like, yeah.
Okay. So we'll be
We'll
picking,
raffle it off right at the end of
we'll
this.
raffle it off before everyone leaves. But your summary, if your tagline is prime real estate, your summary is number 2. Okay, so it's really important to have that really good summary. All right, next question.
I just have a comment.
Yeah.
In terms of commenting on people, to add value.
Yeah.
So just don't comment with
Right.
try to add to the
Value.
conversation makes a huge difference.
That's it. Being thoughtful.
Not only having the person who original post look at your profile, but then other people read yours and say, "Oh, that was really good." But I'm going to see what Christian.
That's it. If you leave a thoughtful comment, it's giving insight into who you are as a person. And then the people that connect naturally with that comment or what you talk about will be like, all right, well, I probably like to connect with that person. Like, they sound like, right, I would connect with them. And that's the power of commenting on relevant stuff.
All right, next question. What is your big win that resulted from using LinkedIn?
So for me, I do lots of video content again. So one video, I really didn't expect this video to take off. It was only took me 8 minutes to produce that video. I shared some problems in education and why I resigned. And that video gained 14,000 views, 300 plus comments, and 400 plus heart reactions, and 20 plus inbox messages asking me about my school, collaboration. Because I'm a solopreneur, I wasn't able to respond to every single person. I wish I had a team. I could gain a lot more out of that just from that post, but that's my best performing content, has given me so much. And I spent $0 doing marketing. I used my old iPhone and just a tripod and did that video in my backyard.
Yep. If you want to know something really funny, we did a Zoom the day you were about to put that out. She told me on our Zoom.
Oh, really?
She was like, I'm about to put out a piece of content. Like, it should be pretty good. And
I
that
don't
thing got
even
like
remember.
14,000 views. Like, think about, you put out a piece of content about what you do and 14,000 people scroll by it.
Oh, it's crazy. Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's just nuts, right?
Yeah.
And it was just on like a whim. Like, she
I
had no
know.
idea. She's like, oh, I'm putting out some content today.
Exactly. I was like,
Oh,
wow. And the people literally, yeah. And I also have, because I'm an early startup company, and I also have investors discovered me through my random like videos. It was just so crazy. We were talking about this.
Yeah.
Sometimes people don't engage with you. There are so many lurkers. So
Lot of
don't
workers.
don't ever feel discouraged that nobody's watching me, nobody's engaging me. No, that's not true. There are lots of people who are consuming your content passively.
Somebody is always watching.
Always.
Somebody is always watching. Just remember that, right? Like, they're not the people that comment and like, but someone's always watching your stuff. Guaranteed it. That's why you put out content. You never know who's watching. That's true, right?
Chris, what's your big win that resulted from you?
Really, honestly, goes back to those messages, those voice messages, right? I haven't had a viral piece of content
come
like
on.
right? Like, I haven't really had anything like that. But honestly, just getting into people's inboxes, getting into their messages by using that voice message, it's created a bunch for me. Just conversations, just other leads, introductions, this, right? Like, this LinkedIn local is me kind of getting in people's inbox, figuring out, right? Like, talking to the whole nine. So there's so much that can be created from that point. And as a business owner or someone that's an entrepreneur, like, that's what we're looking for. We're just looking for like the thing to get it going. So we have to keep putting out content to do it. But I think it's really in the messages. Those voice messages work really, really well, guys. From your phone. Yeah. So
That's the one thing that the app is good.
the LinkedIn app, if you go up in the upper right-hand corner where you have your messages, you go into the messages in the upper right-hand corner, you act to message someone, right? You can either do a new one or somebody that you've already messaged. Open up that message. Then on the bottom, right where you're about to start typing, there's a microphone to the right. You press that microphone, it's going to open up a voice. See, there we go.
Yeah.
Right? And, you just hold it down. And if you swipe, here's the real technical stuff, right? If you hold it down and you swipe it to the left or right, it'll delete it. Because right, every once in a while, you're not saying the right stuff. So you're like, oh, I don't want to send that, right? But if you just let it go, it sends it, okay? But if you hold it, swipe it to the right or swipe it to the left, it'll delete that message. If you hold it, say what you say, and then let it go, it'll just go and send it right away. No extra message, right? I've sent a few of those where it's like, oh, no, wait. And I'll send one right behind it, like, didn't get a chance to finish that, by the way, right? But again, it lets people know you're real.
It's kind of like the way when I get posts.
No.
Bring
it back. Yeah.
And you just gotta let it go.
You just gotta let it go.
It is what it is. I am who
Great, Phil, your big win.
Yeah. So 2 wins. One, again, just over the last 6 months, momentum has really started to build. So October 18th, I want to say, I spoke at a mental health summit just outside of Boston. It was about 100 young people who were there. A lot of their faculty and professors, they were there as well. So that was great. And then from that, people from Cabrini saw me because of the video content I was putting and because of the image and photos from that event. This Tuesday, I'll be speaking at Cabrini. So that's definitely a win. And then also, I love to, part of my purpose and fulfilling my purpose is encouraging other people. Okay. So when people come up to me and talk about how impacted they are and how encouraged they are, how inspired they are with a lot of the content I put on, to me, that's a win. So those are my 2 wins for sure.
For me, it's just building a solid network of people who I can kind of rely on when I need someone to be my customers. It really is a building presence. There's a whole wild west out there. People who are preying on people. You guys get calls every single day about your business qualified for $50,000. Just send me what you make per month. So, making sure that those guys are the ones that are calling my customers, because a lot of people don't realize them. You don't want to borrow from them because they're taking money daily. So having solid vendors through LinkedIn, who I can actually look through and say, oh, this is a regular person, and I can even Google the person or look at their profile, and from there I can kind of figure out is it a decent person to work with, or is it someone who I don't even want to deal with. So that's been the best for me, just making the connections and seeing viable businesses that can utilize.
Cool. All right.
Hey, Sarah, real quick. I have a question. We have a question from our live guest.
Yeah, from my friend Karen, joining us live from Australia. So thank you. Yes. And we also have people from Singapore joining us live right now. And so Karen asked, and anyone or the live audience can answer, what is the single most important lesson that you have learned from engaging with people on LinkedIn? Yes.
Yeah, go for it.
Be human. Please be human.
Say it again.
Be human.
Be human.
Because you can use all the terms art that you want and make it look like you know exactly what you're talking about, which is great. But if you do not seem human to the people reading your content, they're gonna skip right over it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So please, God, and my entertainment during the day, be human.
Absolutely.
Love it.
And we've also learned that long messages don't really work.
Yeah.
Right? If you get a paragraph, a full book, like I don't even open it. Like I look at it like, oh no, I'm definitely not reading that.
Then they have a link inside.
Oh yeah, definitely not reading that. Right? So that I learned also. That's interesting.
Yeah, definitely. And for me, it's really, if I feel like I have to say a lot, I make sure to use emojis and spacing, like one sentence as a paragraph and then space, another one sentence as a paragraph, and add emojis. I use lots of emojis and to help people digest information. Yeah.
Good.
Questions from the audience.
I would say that one of the questions that I reach out to is having a strategy of the people that you are engaging with. So why don't you share that a little bit, that, depending on who you want to connect with, you just don't, in the feed, if my, or if the folks that I want to reach out to, say, are, event managers or marketing managers, I think it's important that we engage in the area of the people that we do want to connect with, and be focused with our activity.
So I guess to answer your question, does anyone want to
What's the exact question?
Well, it's I have a feed, and I help people promote through using really cool promotional products that are relevant.
Okay.
So who do I want to speak with? I would want to speak with event planners, marketing managers.
Okay.
So I have to be, I want to be, I guess I'm asking is, how do you just follow hashtags? Have you just comment on people that are in that particular industry? I mean,
If you were trying to find,
it's about having a strategy.
I think your strategy. You're hitting the
Well, I
event
haven't
plan.
done it yet.
We got it, but you know it.
I'm staring at the LinkedIn screen right now, and tears are welling up. That's
me.
where I'm at.
We're right here.
Okay.
That's only for showing us
We're
here.
both here. Yes. But no, I actually agree with you. And that's the thing, is like, I work with a lot of, on the credit repair, I work with a lot of people who are trying to get homes or cars. So I inadvertently go around the loan officers, and I'll go to realtors so that they can introduce me to the loan officers. Or I'll go to someone at a car dealership, like a salesman, and I'll talk to them beforehand, because then they can introduce me to the person who's doing the finance. Because the person who's doing the finance doesn't want to talk to me directly. They don't want to see my face pop up. Hey, just tell you on hand load. They don't want to see that. But the loan officer who has a realtor who's already tied to them will listen to that realtor, and that realtor will tell them, hey, this guy does credit repair. Try him out and see how it goes.
So you would follow realtors
Yes.
and comment to realtors, and that's how.
So it's just what exactly is that our his strategic partner?
Yeah.
People who service the target market that he wants in a complimentary way.
Yeah.
And those are the people you pay attention
And I can also then give them leads by sending them people after the loan officer gets them a loan. After they've sent me to the loan officer, it's a big circle of life, fun.
Jody, if I could jump in, Jody, let me ask you a question. Are you a local business? Can you scale nationwide,
I could
global?
actually, as a distributor, I can go nationwide.
You can go nationwide.
Yes, I could.
Okay.
I love one-on-one. I love, having being that, but I could.
Okay. So if you can, then that search bar at the top, search for what you're looking for. They break it down on LinkedIn: jobs, companies, people, content. So just start to search.
You can even go further and filter out to the industries you want to search to. Because I do that. Like I look for people who have loan officers or that type of thing. You can go in there, and this is coming from me again. We're here. Like I literally do. Like when I go in there, if I get any further than that, I start looking at comic books and memes. Like it's not going any further than that. So it's not anything in depth when you're that far in, but I'm sure they probably go in and reroute. I'm like, I'm just sitting there.
You have to search for
The search bar, right? Yeah.
You really have to search to find
Yes.
more people that you want to gravitate around. You don't have a network like Power Match. Obviously, we all kind of market the same way in Power Match in the sense that it's a little bit easier. But do not be content with the community like they do.
Right,
correct.
So you'll get stuck in a black hole and get glazed over. So you will not find the people that you want to find.
Another
You have to do a
easy
really
one.
active search.
Another easy one that I do is going to conferences. Like the conferences always have a LinkedIn page as well, or the groups that are associated with those conferences. Go in there, look at the people who are in those groups, and then start picking and choosing who is relevant to you. I literally I do it at a rudimentary level. I don't know how to do all the super searching and filtering. Like seriously.
So say if I wanted to if we wanted to do marketing managers, okay? And I would do my first connections and all my marketing managers? Like how do I get to the second connection?
No, you would just
When you filter it down, you can filter first and second and third.
Right, so don't I have to ask my first connections to introduce
No.
me to
You don't have to.
I mean that's
The other thing you can do is find those key specific people that you want and start commenting on stuff.
Yeah. Follow
Get
them.
attention.
You can follow them without even
Yeah, you can
asking
follow them
for
without
that.
connecting.
And you can follow and then see what groups they're in and go to those groups. If they see you inside the group,
Think of it as a traversing the web. You gotta start small and you eventually find.
or think of it like you're at a bar and you see somebody on a regular basis every other weekend. At that point, they see you commenting 2 or 3 times. They're a little more comfortable with you than sending a message. Whereas if you do it the first time, you just show up to the bar. Hey, what's up? What's going on? Let's party. Oh no.
I feel like that'll work, but it might not work for you.
And also, you can also follow hashtags, and so that can also help you. And I discovered, not recently, like on LinkedIn, you can also have trending posts. And I discovered it is a lot easier to trend on LinkedIn than trending on any other. I never trended on any other social media platform, but on LinkedIn, I have trended quite a few times. And so like following certain hashtags, and if your content is good and trending, and you can also engage on content that is already trending, and that can give you more visibility, help you connect with the right people.
What is your experience with LinkedIn groups, whether that be joining them or starting?
Sarah, go ahead. Sarah, go ahead. Yeah, Sarah, go for it.
It all depends on who is running the group. Some people have groups that are really good and they organize them really well. Some people suck at it, and they are people down. At this point, and when I teach my LinkedIn workshops, I teach using hashtags as opposed to being in a group. Because the conversations that people are using hashtags for is a million times more beneficial to you in terms of engaging with them than a group is. So I would recommend 10 hashtags related to your industry, where your target market is out, and like groups that you like, and follow those 10 hashtags and every day check them to see what people are saying. We're going to comment.
I just have a comment on the groups. Those groups can be very spammy. So
Yeah.
a lot of times those groups are just self-promoting other people, like, hey, check out my company, they got more information. Yeah. As far as connecting with people.
Can you tell us a little more about LinkedIn Premium? When it's there and how it would be appropriate? Yeah,
Is that it? You have a premium?
No.
I don't have a premium.
No.
So it's not worth it. I didn't say that, LinkedIn. I didn't say that. You're also LinkedIn.
Sorry,
No. Oh, we're clearly getting this shut down now.
I'm going to lose my
I know. No, but
No
honestly, you can do all the same things, with the exception of like seeing people on that view your profile, some other in-mail type stuff. Like you can do it from your own free account, right? It doesn't necessarily matter.
And if you're on LinkedIn on a daily basis, which you should be, you can see the 6 people who work on it.
That's true.
Do you have any groups? Do you have any groups that don't?
I have engagement pods.
We're gonna get one set up here.
Do you?
We can get it set up. So
We have one.
Yeah, we
Oh,
have.
okay,
it set
yeah,
up.
cool.
We have the pod set up already for this.
Yeah.
She has pods, and I'm terrible with pods. Yeah, I'm like the bad student in the back of class. They just keep me there.
Real quick, we have one more question online, and then we'll kind of get it wrapped up.
Yeah, my friend from Singapore, thank you. So he asked, what is one thing to avoid when building content on LinkedIn?
One thing to avoid. What would do you have an answer to that?
I think for me, it's really about consistency. And I think if you have amazing content, you show up one day, then you cannot forget about LinkedIn. You never come back. You don't engage. You don't ever post any other amazing content anymore. I don't think that is a long-term strategy. And in terms of my live streaming journey, I started live streaming. Many of my friends, we started together, and they all stopped. I didn't stop when nobody was watching me. I kept going. So I think for me, that's something you shouldn't do. Just like keep going, think about the long-term goal. Even though nobody was engaging with you, don't give up, just keep going.
Good. And I would just say same thing that we said in the messages. Just don't spam people with your content. Don't just be like, buy my stuff, my company's so great, I'm so good, this is what I do, right? Like just don't do that. Just add value to people. That content will be much more effective.
What do you feel, is it important to write articles besides posts, or one article a month, or?
So I don't know who wants to take. Well, I'll take it. I mean, I take the. We talked about Chris and Vincent. We talked about Gary Vee a bit. So Gary Vee says just know how you communicate. Are you better audio? Are you better visual? Are you better in written? And then do a lot of whatever you're good at. That's all. The algorithm in LinkedIn, right? Sometimes videos do real well. I mean, Sarah, you've had a post that just a type post, right? Just words.
It was a little long post.
Yeah, it was just a long post, just
I have
typed up.
views on it at this point.
Right? So like just huge. So we don't really know how it
I'll
goes.
try to time it.
Yeah, just
Or just whether or not it's important for me to write an article as opposed to a post. If I want to write an article, I mean, is there a certain amount?
if you have longer form content, right? Like because posts only give you, I don't even know how much, but it only gives you a certain amount of
1,300.
characters, 1,300 characters. So if you have more things to talk about, then put it in an article and post your article.
Or a video.
Yeah, or video, whatever.
Or a
it is.
video, yeah. You can do a video.
But just figure out, Jody, whichever you're comfortable with, the most comfortable with, and do a lot of it. That's all, right? If you want to write an article a day or 2 a day, do it. If you don't put out any video and you just want to write articles, you'll get traction. Same thing will happen, just a lot. Go ahead, Dave.
So I think I might be in the minority here. I think most of the people here are in their own business. I am not. I work for somebody. So would your advice change for someone who works for somebody as opposed to somebody that has their own business? And I have to be careful because I'm not going to work for somebody who works for a pretty good company. I mean, that helps.
Absolutely.
So what would
You
your
wanna
advice
handle it?
change because of my situation?
I would say, personally, just stay on brand and stay on message, because it's when you get outside of that and you start putting personal stuff in there that they can misconstrue that as you trying to represent the company in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you're well aware of how the company's run, how everything goes. As long as you're in that focus and in that lane, then it's fine. But it's when you go outside of what, you start posting political stuff and things like that. That's when it goes south. But if you're encouraging people to come to the business or participate in something that you're doing, I think that's great, because it's honestly for them, it's like free advertising, because they're now in your feed, but it's more organic than sending out something that's inside, that third post down that just comes up because they pay $10 per click. So it might even give you recognition outside of the work, because it does show you going above and beyond. Whereas if you're just posting stuff, you know, from work and saying whatever you want to say, then that might come back to bite you. Yeah.
Does your company have like a training program on
Probably not. Probably not.
You know, like some financial.
There is, yes, there is some sort of a policy as to what you can and can't. Yep. Should. Yeah, should.
I think the old way of doing marketing is no longer sufficient in this day and age. I think human beings as consumers, we love purchasing from other humans. I think, you know, using social media is such a great way to humanize who you are as a brand. It's very hard for people to build that emotional connection with the logo. And so start to figure out ways to share stories of your company, customers, give them a platform to share their stories. How has their life been transformed by using your product or service, or even spotlight some employees, internal communication, or even encourage the CEO, the VP to embrace social media to humanize the logo. You know, like for me, if someone is following me, I don't even see a human face. I feel, oh, this is a spam about. I don't even feel like purchasing or connecting with that person, and try to show human face. I think LinkedIn is a great platform to build stories, to share that, to humanize the brand. That's how I think.
And I'll finish with this because we talked, Dave, like, you know your target market. You know who you're trying to get in front of. Think about them. Put content out that they would like. You're trying to get traveling nurses. Put out an article that says the 6 things that traveling nurses need to know about the problem. The traveling nurse will see it. And then you can tell them about what you do, and then they can, right? You know what I mean? So that's just think about your consumer, right? Whether you own the business or whether you don't, right? Like, you know who you're going after. Just make content according to them. That's it. You don't have to put your face in it. Like I said, you get audio, written, whatever content, JV content, meaning like other curated content, other articles, other things, but get it to your target audience so they start to know, like, who is this? Like, what is it? And then you can hopefully have something on your page that says, like, this is what we do and this is what I'm, right? I think that'll help. So yeah, absolutely. Anybody else? Because I know we got to get wrapped up here. It's been fun. No? All right, that's good. I felt my wife ran off to do the raffle stuff. I thought that's what she was doing, but she didn't come back. So let's wrap this up. If anyone else has any questions, we'll take them. But if not, let's just wrap up. We will raffle off in the next 5 minutes that about section rewrite if you want to stick around. If you're not here, it's okay. We know all the people that showed up. Right? We can get it to you anyway, but we're going to raffle it off in 5 minutes. And let's just give a round of applause for these guys up here. Thank you so much for this. Really appreciate it. 2 things lastly. If you have your phone out, the next LinkedIn local for the greater Philadelphia area is January the 7th. I believe that's a Tuesday. Tuesday, January the 7th. We have a host. It's our friend John Politsky. He has an office down in Fishtown. He runs Small Business Academy.
He's a firehouse. I was with him last night. I took his first course.
Yes, so he's awesome, right? So he is hosting. He's another connection I made on LinkedIn. So he's hosting the next one, January the 7th. And we have Ashley Owens as our moderator. If any of you know Ashley, Ashley will be our moderator for the next one. So the goal of this, everyone, just so you know, is to continue to grow, right? We had a great turnout tonight, but let's continue to grow this. Now, the second thing I was going to say is Sarah's going to put us all in an engagement pod, like a pod, right? So everyone that's here, we can all be connected. If you have content, you can put it out. We'll share it. We'll like it, right? If it's good for your demographic of who you're trying to reach, share it, engage. But let's grow this, right? We had a good amount turn out on the 7th of January. Let's try to double it, right? Let's keep building these connections with LinkedIn because it's an amazing platform. Again, like the reason why I pulled in because she's the one. She's been showing us, like, you just get started and then you have a viral post of 14,000 people that see it. And all of a sudden your business life changes, right? Your life changes. So let's start doing that. Let's start connecting with people and then putting out content and doing some of the stuff on LinkedIn It's really going to help. It's really going to help. So January the 7th, Tuesday. It is at John's office. We'll start marketing it and putting it out, but I want you to mark the calendar so you have it, so you set aside that time. We'll start putting out marketing. You'll see my face on LinkedIn a bunch, right? Like if you haven't already, we'll put out a bunch of stuff so you guys can make it to that. All right? Cool. I think that's it. Anybody have anything else? Thank you so much, guys. We appreciate it. Yeah, quick fix. Hi, quick fix. I know, she's all in. Come here, right here.
Okay, ready? Yeah, my arm is lined up right there. So 2 seconds delay.
Awesome.
Thank you for joining us live, everyone. Bye. Follow everyone. They are amazing.